Well, the initial assessment of the first 10 days data is the following. In 10 days I managed to make 140 measurements. Out of that, 36 controlled with blood reading as well. And so I made double, actually triple measurements, because after a while I smarted up and I said, okay, let's throw in the measurement in guessed mode. So I didn't do it for 10 days because it took me a few days to figure out that move, but for this entry here, video entry, I'm just going to show you that 140 measurements. The green check marks were the difference between the blood pressure, measuring the blood sugar through regular means, drawing a blood, and the AMU didn't do more than 15%. That's what I'm reading to be the acceptable variation between devices. So that's within the range of acceptable range. So that is out of the 36, about 1/3. And then 1/3 is less than 1 point different, but more than 15%. So it's 1 point in this range of borderline, a little bit higher than borderline readings. Well, it can make a difference between eating or not eating according to my game plan, at least as a first factor in deciding on eating or not to eat. And then 1/3 of the measurements were, let's see, my notes I'm reading here, it's larger than 1 point. So statistically significant, well, it's a first 10 days, and measuring 140 times in 10 days, that's basically 14 measurements a day, and taking double takes, triple takes, well, it's time consuming, so I don't foresee myself doing that every week, but I try to do it as many times as I can for the purpose of honing in just how reliable is the reading that we get from AMU. Now, it is interesting, if we look at the 16, 17, 18, and 19, actually 20th entries, I came upon limitation of AMU, and I sent a request for support, and I got a very interesting answer. So in short, the AMU is designed and presently built to deal with 24-hour cycles. So if somebody like me taking more than 24 hours between meals, then you have no way to let AMU know about that. So those readings that I grayed out were during the day when I didn't eat, and consequently the measurements after that were beyond 24 hours. Interestingly enough, 3 of those out of the 5 were right on the spot. They were very close, so actually didn't cause big havoc. But I will let you know what that answer was from the makers of AMU. They're basically working towards expanding that capability, but it involves logarithmically so much more calculations. The machine can't handle that at this time. Okay, going back to the basics, looking at the very first entry. The blue represents what AMU was giving me a reading, but a blood test is in red. So where I get a reading of 5.9, I'm very excited, and Well, it looks like I'm getting interrupted in this video all the time. So to conclude this journal entry, an interesting little story. I live in a very, very nice area. Practically no neighbors, but the few neighbors I have across my street is a rancher. Same age, same height. And turned out earlier this year, that his 3 months blood test and mine were the same, both 12. Now, once we found out that we both facing the same problem, we started communicating a lot more, and he has a very different lifestyle. While I'm in front of the computer all the time, he's a rancher, he's always out and about. He's in much better shape than I, and he doesn't feel the negative consequences of the high blood sugar as I came to experience it in September. But he's learning from me. So today I asked him a question. His name is Imre. So Imre, if you were to see into the future and you have two options: do everything as you do now, and it gives you 10 years and then you die, or make a lifestyle change and you can have 20 years to live. Which one would you choose? And he was laughing and he said, well, it's a very difficult choice, because the lifestyle choice, he understands, that means changing the way we eat and give up certain things in life that he doesn't want to give up. So he says, I guess he concludes that why bother with the suffering for an additional 10 years. I just enjoy the life the way it is, and that's it. So I don't think my video journal is for those people who think this way. I would choose the extended life. I am choosing the extended life because I have a reason to live. I have young children, and if nothing else, that alone requires commitment. All right, that's it for today's entry. I'm already into the second week of measurements, which I'm doing, and stay tuned. Interesting observations there.